Welcome back to my YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Most people believe that aging is something that just happens to you. That one morning you wake up and your body has simply decided to slow down. But after 30 years in medicine, I can tell you that is not how it works. Aging is not random. It is not inevitable, and it is certainly not equal. Two people can be the same age, 70, 75, 80, and one of them is walking through the park every morning, cooking their own meals, driving to the store alone, while the other can barely get out of bed. Same decade of birth, same country, completely different bodies. What separates them is not luck. It is not genetics, at least not mostly. It is a handful of daily habits. Habits so ordinary, so deeply woven into everyday life that most people never question them. Today, I want to walk you through 5 of those habits. 5 silent patterns that are shaving years off your life right now, whether you like it or not. And then I want to give you 3 things you can do starting tomorrow to push back. Some of what I am about to say may surprise you. Some of it may make you uncomfortable. Good, that means it matters. Let us begin. A geriatrician once told me something I have never forgotten. He said, "I can tell you how long a patient has left to live by watching them walk through my door." He was not being dramatic. In geriatric medicine, the way a person moves, gait, balance, confidence tells a doctor more about their future than almost any blood test. Mobility is not just about muscles. It is the clearest window into how your entire body is functioning and the thing that destroys mobility faster than almost anything else. Sitting San Diego tracked thousands of older women and found that those who sat for more than 11 and 122 hours a day had a 30% higher risk of death regardless of how much they exercised. Even if they walked in the morning, if they spent the rest of the day sitting, their risk stayed elevated. Why? Because your body does not operate on averages. When you sit still for more than 30 minutes at a time, a cascade begins. Blood pools in your lower body. Blood sugar rises. Your brain receives less oxygen. Inflammation builds. Researchers in the Annals of Internal Medicine confirmed that continuous sitting, not total sitting, is the real threat. 30 unbroken minutes is the threshold. And here is what most people get wrong. They think exercise cancels it out. A 1-hour walk in the morning does not undo 11 hours of sitting. That is like eating a salad for lunch and drinking poison for dinner. The real solution is interruption. Stand every 30 minutes. Walk to the kitchen. Stretch your arms. Roll your ankles. 2 minutes resets your body. There is one more piece. Walking alone does not protect your muscles. Walking is cardiovascular. Your muscles need resistance, something to push against. Stand up from a chair 10 times. Press your palms against a wall. Carry your own groceries. Your muscles need to be challenged, not just transported. Sitting too long without interruption. That is habit number 1. Before we move on, if this is making you think, consider subscribing. Every week, I break down one piece of health science into something you can actually use. No gimmicks. No products, just the truth. Now let me talk about something that will make some people uncomfortable. I am not telling anyone to stop taking their medication. What I am telling you is that taking too many medications without regular review may be more dangerous than the diseases they are meant to treat. This is called polypharm pharmacy, the simultaneous use of 5 or more medications. Among adults over 75, nearly half are doing this every single day. A study published this month, February 2026, in PLOS ONE tracked 977 patients over 75. Those taking 5 or more medications had a 4 times higher risk of death within 1 year and 6 times over 5 years. Hospitalization risk was 5 times higher. How does this happen? Each drug is prescribed by a different specialist. The cardiologist gives you a blood pressure pill. The endocrinologist gives you a diabetes pill. The rheumatologist adds an anti-inflammatory. Each one solves a problem, but no one is watching what all of them do together inside your body. One pill lowers your blood pressure. Another makes you dizzy. A third blurs your vision. Together, they create the perfect conditions for a fall. And a fall after 70 is not minor. It can be the beginning of a fracture, immobility, pneumonia, and irreversible decline. Many of these medications also quietly deplete essential nutrients. Cholesterol drugs reduce CoQ10. Diuretics flush potassium and magnesium. Acid blockers prevent absorption of calcium, iron, and B12. The result, fatigue, weakness, brain fog, leads to yet another prescription. The cycle deepens. So what should you do? Once a year, take every medication you are using, prescriptions, supplements, everything. Put them in a bag. Bring them to your doctor or pharmacist and ask one question for each. Is this still necessary? Minimum pills, maximum lifestyle. That is the pattern among the healthiest people I know over 70. Here's a number that should stop you. A 2025 meta-analysis reviewing 79 cohort studies found that sleeping less than 7 hours raises your mortality risk by 14%. Sleeping more than 9 hours raises it by 34%. When you sleep, your body is doing its most important work. Your brain clears toxic amyloid proteins through the lymphatic system, the same proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Your immune system produces cells to fight infection. Your blood pressure drops to give your heart a break. Muscles rebuild, hormones rebalance. Cut that process short, even by one night, and the damage starts immediately. A 2025 study in the Journal of Immunology showed that a single day of sleep deprivation altered immune cell behavior in healthy adults. In older adults whose immune systems are already fragile, the impact is far worse. Chronic sleep deprivation raises blood pressure, increases inflammation, destabilizes blood sugar, and accelerates telomere shortening, the protective caps on your chromosomes that mark biological aging. Sleeping less does not just make you feel older, it makes your cells older. Yet, so many people over 60 treat sleep as optional. They stay up for television. They scroll through their phone in bed. They tell themselves they will catch up on the weekend, but sleep debt does not work like money. You cannot pay it back in bulk. Your body needs consistency. The fix requires discipline, not complexity. Go to bed at the same time every night, including weekends. Turn off your screen 1 hour before sleep. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. If you wake up and cannot fall back asleep, do not reach for your phone. Lie still. Breathe slowly. Let your body remember rest. After 2 or 3 nights of solid 7 to 8 hours sleep, most people notice sharper thinking, better mood, more energy. Sleep is not wasted time. It is the foundation everything else is built on. This is the habit that hides in plain sight. Most people over 60 are not drinking enough water, and they do not even know it. As you age, your thirst mechanism weakens. The part of your brain that says, "I am thirsty," becomes less sensitive. You can be significantly dehydrated and feel perfectly fine. The National Institutes of Health tracked over 11,000 adults for 25 years in the ERIC study. People whose blood showed chronic underhydration, serum sodium above 142, were biologically older than their actual age. They developed 39% more chronic diseases, including heart failure, dementia, diabetes, and stroke. They had a 21% higher risk of dying early. Researchers estimated nearly half the world is chronically underhydrated. When your body lacks water, your blood thickens, your heart pumps harder. Your kidneys struggle to filter waste. And over time, their function declines, often without symptoms until the damage is irreversible. Your brain, over 70% water, slows down. Studies show dehydrated older adults display cognitive patterns of people 10 years older. Your joints suffer too. Cartilage is mostly water. Without hydration, it dries, friction increases, inflammation rises, and pain worsens, especially for those already managing arthritis. The solution is simple but strategic. Drink a glass of water first thing in the morning. Keep a bottle within reach all day. Do not wait until you feel thirsty. By then, you are already behind. Add lemon or cucumber if plain water does not appeal. Eat water-rich foods. Watermelon, cucumber, soup broth. Check your urine. Light yellow means you are on track. Dark means drink now. You do not need to flood your body. You just need to stay ahead of the deficit consistently every day. The last habit on this list is one most people never think of as a habit, but it is. Stress is not just something that happens to you. It is something you practice through the way you respond to your life every day. A Finnish study found chronic stress shortens life expectancy by approximately 8 years. That may sound modest compared to the other numbers today. But stress is different. It is not just its own risk. It is a multiplier of every other risk. When you are stressed, you eat worse. You move less. You sleep poorly. You isolate yourself. Stress pushes you toward every other habit on this list. The mechanism is cortisol. In short bursts, cortisol sharpens focus and raises energy. But when it stays elevated for months and years, it becomes destructive. It suppresses your immune system. It raises blood sugar. It increases inflammation. It breaks down muscle tissue. It accelerates telomere shortening, the same aging markers affected by poor sleep. A University of Southern California study found that social stress, loneliness, financial pressure, caregiving, loss directly accelerates immune aging. Your defense system starts to behave like it belongs to someone much older. For many seniors, stress is invisible because it is constant. It is the background hum of worry about health, money, independence being a burden. No single crisis, just a low-grade tension that never turns off. The solution is not to eliminate stress. That is impossible. The solution is to give your nervous system permission to recover. A 10-minute walk, a real conversation with someone you trust, a hobby that absorbs your attention. Even slow, deep breathing for 2 minutes measurably lowers cortisol. You do not have to fix your life. You just have to let your body rest from fighting it, even for a few minutes a day. If someone you love is over 60, send them this video, not as a warning, as a gift, because knowing these 5 habits can change the next 10 years of their life. Those are the 5 habits. Sitting too long, taking too many pills without review, sleeping too little, drinking too little water, and living under constant stress. Now, I promised you 3 things you can do starting tomorrow to fight back. These are not dramatic lifestyle overhauls. They are small daily acts of resistance against decline, and each one addresses multiple habits on the list we just discussed. The first one is about how you eat, not what diet you follow, not what supplements you take. Just one rule. Include a palm-sized portion of protein at every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Here is why this matters more than most people realize. After 60, your body becomes less efficient at turning the protein you eat into muscle. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. It means that even if you eat the same amount of protein as a younger person, your body builds less muscle from it. You need 20 to 30% more just to maintain what you have. A nationwide nutrition survey in South Korea found that among elderly men, 1 in 2 was protein deficient. Among elderly women, 2 in 3. The pattern is consistent across countries. As people age, they eat less meat, less fish, fewer dairy products, partly because of cost, partly because of digestion, partly because of misinformation about cholesterol. But protein is not just about muscle. It is the building block of your bones. 30% of bone is collagen, a protein. It is the raw material for your immune antibodies. It is what your body uses to make insulin, serotonin, melatonin. When protein drops, everything drops. And here is the critical detail most people miss. Your body cannot store protein the way it stores fat or carbohydrates. If you eat all your protein at dinner, which is the most common pattern, your body can only use a fraction of it. The rest is wasted. But if you spread it across 3 meals, muscle synthesis improves by 20 to 30%. So tomorrow morning, add 2 eggs or a cup of Greek yogurt or a handful of walnuts. At lunch, add a piece of chicken or a serving of tofu. At dinner, keep doing what you are doing. The change is not in the total amount. It is in the distribution. The second habit takes 2 minutes and costs nothing. Every 30 minutes, stand up. That is it. Stand up, stretch, walk a few steps, sit back down, reset the clock. Do it again in 30 minutes. This single habit directly counters the #1 killer on our list, prolonged sitting. It restores blood flow. It reactivates your muscles. It pulls glucose out of your blood. It sends oxygen back to your brain. A Brazilian study followed over 300 older adults for 5 years. They found that replacing just 10 minutes of sitting with light physical activity reduced mortality risk by 30%. Not running, not lifting weights, just standing and moving. And replacing 60 minutes brought the risk down by 78%. The returns on this investment are extraordinary. You can tie it to things you already do. Stand up during TV commercials. Stand when you take a phone call. Walk to the kitchen every time you refill your water. Which, by the way, also addresses habit number 4 on our list. 2 habits solved with 1 trip to the sink. Here is what the annals of internal medicine confirmed. People who sat for the same total hours but broke it into shorter blocks had significantly lower mortality than those who sat in long, unbroken stretches. It is not about how much you sit. It is about how long you sit without stopping. A geriatric researcher once pointed out the absurdity of modern life. People drive their cars to the gym, take the elevator to the 3rd floor, and then climb a stair machine for 30 minutes. The stairs were right there. The walk was right there. The movement was already built into the day. We just engineered it out. You do not need a program. You do not need equipment. You need a kitchen timer or a simple alarm on your phone. Every 30 minutes, it rings. You stand, you stretch, you sit back down. After 1 week, your body starts expecting it. After 1 month, you will feel wrong sitting still for too long. Bring movement back, not as exercise, as life. The 3rd habit happens at the end of your day. I call it the 10-minute reset. And it quietly addresses 4 of the 5 dangers we just discussed. About an hour before bed, you do 3 things, always the same 3, in the same order. First, drink 1 full glass of water. Not because you are thirsty. You probably are not, and that is exactly the problem. After 70, your brain stops sending the thirst signal reliably. So do not wait to feel it. Just drink. This single glass helps your kidneys work through the hours when you are not drinking anything else. It keeps your blood from thickening while you sleep. That is habit 4, dehydration handled. Second, look at tomorrow's medications. Open the pill case and check each one. Ask yourself, do I know what this is for? When was the last time my doctor reviewed it? If you cannot answer both, write it down and bring it to your next appointment. This 5-second review has helped patients I know remove 2 or 3 unnecessary prescriptions over a couple of years. 2 pills that were doing nothing except adding risk. That is habit 2. Polypharm pharmacy addressed. Third, put your phone in another room, not on silent, not face down on the nightstand, in another room entirely. The blue light from your screen suppresses melatonin, the hormone your body needs to fall asleep naturally. But beyond the light, the phone keeps your mind running. News, messages, worry, comparison. Your brain cannot shift into rest while it is still processing new information. Removing the phone protects your sleep. That is habit 3. And it lowers the late-night anxiety that keeps cortisol elevated. That is habit 5. Stress. 3 actions less than 10 minutes combined. Water, medication check. Phone away. It is not glamorous. No one will write a headline about it, but it touches dehydration, polypharm pharmacy, sleep deprivation, and chronic stress in one quiet routine. I did not find this in a textbook. I built it by tracking what made mornings feel worse. Every bad morning traced back to something done or not done the night before. The body you wake up in tomorrow is being built right now, tonight, in the hours before you close your eyes. You do not need to overhaul your life. You need to change your last 10 minutes. If you have watched this far, you are not here by accident. You are here because you care about living well. If this channel helps you do that, I would be grateful if you hit subscribe. It helps more people like you find these videos. I want to leave you with something I read recently. There is a study still ongoing at Scripps Research in California. A geneticist named Eric Topol has been sequencing the genomes of people he calls superagers, individuals who have reached their 80s and 90s with no major chronic disease, no cognitive decline, and full independence. What he found surprised everyone. These people did not share a single unique gene. There was no longevity gene that set them apart. What they shared were patterns. Patterns of how they lived, not how they were born. They moved throughout their day. They ate simply but consistently. They slept well. They stayed connected to other people. And they paid attention to their bodies. Not with obsession, but with quiet daily respect. The 5 habits I shared with you today are not a death sentence. They are a mirror. And the 3 habits I offered are not a cure. They are a direction. You do not have to change everything. You just have to change something. And the best time to start is not next Monday. It is tonight when you put your phone in the other room and drink a glass of water before bed. Because the goal was never to live forever. The goal was to live well. Thank you for your time. Take care of yourself. I will see you next